are done. Here we see the player coming from the upper bracket, 1-0. He has had an insanely strong year. This would be the perfect way to crown his achievement with a win. Of course, the year is far from over, but it would be a nice little achievement, no less. 1-0, in WGL days and such. It's been a while since he took first place. I'm sure he would love to now claim the crown for himself.
100%. Here's the maps, picks and bans. 1-0 with Amazonia, Echo Owls, Last Refuge, Happy with Tide Hunters, Turtle Rock, and Twisted. One small map, two big maps. Band is concealed. No room for the Ogre here, and Terna stand out for Happy, probably not practicing that too much. And the neutral playground. Oh boy, how fitting is the ice-cold lands of Northern Isles.
Yeah, 1-0's ban of Concealed Hill is quite interesting. I wonder what he thinks there, because Concealed Hill is by no means a map that you ban because you play it rarely. You play that map all the time in many matchups. Happy's Terna stand ban, understandable. I think you ban that in every single series against every single opponent. This is it. Our grand final. Our championship match, best of 7.
The most successful player in 2023 is 1-0. 3 TP League tournaments in a row under his belt, as well as many Show Cups and TED Cups. Happy has, of course, dominated the big tournaments recently. It was DreamHack, his. Raraland, his. TP League #1, his. He is the current title holder, the championship defending from round 1 of the lower bracket into the grand final. On the other side, 1-0 has yet to lose a series in this tournament.
And off we are. 1-0, top right with a Ted Fiend build, which seems to be the build he plays the most. And Happy again with his Ghoul build. I lightly touched on it earlier. This is something that Happy also did in the past. The Lich Ghouls, really good early at creeping, really good at harassing expansions, and in general, pretty strong early. The Ted Fiend build that 1-0 is playing is exactly the opposite. Very weak in the early game, can't creep well, can't harass well, can't fight well, but transitions very strongly into tier 3. Once you have the Orb and you have the Fiends and Destroyers, this build is really good. And for that reason, normally the Lich Ghoul player needs to get some kind of an advantage early.
So we say on paper, but we oftentimes talk about Happy and his Acolyte last hits, his Skeleton last hits. Give 1-0 a DK and a Fiend, and he can create that magic. Dude, the damage that he can do with his 2 units is absolutely incredible. And if you slow down the Lich, you have a more or less easy transition into the faster Destroyers, which then, of course, counter the dangerous Ghouls off of Happy. That's the dynamic, that's the setup, and looks like nobody is moving away from that so far.
Other undeads against Ted Fiend build may want to play an expansion. It can be really good because, again, the Ted Fiends are so weak early, but Happy rarely does. So he's not going to go for the skull. He's not going to go for the expansion. He's going to start off with creeping, just as the DK. But the Lich will be a bit faster because his Ghoul friends are helping out.
This is only the second undead mirror in this entire tournament, isn't it? The one before was 1-0 versus Labyrinth. Of course, 1-0 took that one even after giving up one map. But okay. Creeping starts pretty casual. Light on the risks at the beginning of this long series.
Items here will also greatly contribute. Happy with the claws already. Would love to get a mantle as well. On this map we have a marketplace, so expect a stacked Lich at some point.
Okay, we move towards the middle circlet. Up for grabs, not taking it yet. Maybe the builds are too refined, maybe the builds are too sharp. You can't afford that yet, but Happy sidestepping to the Tuskars. And 1-0 can't find him.
Happy creeping here very passively. Just trying to focus on level 3 as much as he can. Fast creeping. Big mana potion. There we go. 1-0. Looked like he was sneezing on top of his mousepad or something.
He was just looking up a hotkey, I imagine. This is the DK Fiends. How much damage can they do? DK is blocking a little bit, but of course everything here is getting caught by a Nova, but not the Fiend, only the Skeleton. That was an odd Nova.
I was hoping to take out a few skellies, get more experience. I mean, you know, he's full mana, more or less. He's got Dark Ritual. You can afford to use some Novas for funsies.
For funsies? This is the grand final. You don't do anything for funsies.
It seems
And
like
especially,
you don't,
I think Happy doesn't do anything for funsies, to be honest.
it seems like you don't know Team OG playing Dota, though. Their way to win TI twice was by having fun, Neo. You see?
Watch that documentary, but that is first blood, and it goes to 1-0 with the Fiend, with the DK, damage done.
It's quite a bit big experience lead. Lich now, level 3, and now the Nova is dangerous. DK though, high HP. As tier 3 starts, Lich is also queued. 1-0 of course has a bit of an tech lead here.
Here we go. We have seen Happy a lot in this tournament. In the group stage, he looked okay. At the first day of the playoffs, he looked defeatable, and he was. But in the lower bracket, dude, he's been a beast. 1-0, it seemed like he was peaking when it matters most, and that was yesterday. Can he carry this performance, the momentum, into the grand final? Feels like he's already up against the wall. With that mana potion, with the claws on Happy, with the level 3 unlocked, the game plan of delaying that Lich is not really working.
But if 1-0 finally gets the levels later on, didn't lose any fiends, doesn't find himself behind, and doesn't get overwhelmed by the ghoul frenzy, can still be satisfied with this. It's a clean early for the most part by both. We're expecting to see a level lead there on the Lich. In the end, it might just come down to the execution in the decisive fights.
And that first decisive fight is on the horizon. Ghoul Frenzy versus Destros. That's the timing. Crystal Ball for Happy. DK second, obviously. The heroes will most likely not change throughout the entire series, just the order at times. And maybe a Naga if 1-0 feels feisty.
Oh, big last hit. Opportunity here.
Oh, Coil goes to Happy. Item on 1-0 side. It's the Boots of Kel'Thuzad. Not the greatest. Nice for the Dark Ranger later. Oh, is the undershooting in damage? No, he's not.
Lich is already on a good way here. Level 3.5. If you get a fast level 4 Lich, we all know what that means with the Dark Ritual. Lots of mana. And level 5 Lich for level 3 Nova is crazy good in Fiend Mirror. Might trigger only destroyers later.
Here we go. Happy with a sacrificial pit. Shades coming into the play. DK not getting level 3. Happy so impressive. Both DKs at 50%. Item. Was it a circlet? I think it was. So more creeping. Happy gobbles up the majority of the map, using his advantage with Lich first very well.
Yeah, I remember when they played last, there were some interesting strategies by Happy. In some of the games, he didn't play any fiends at all, but rather Frenzy Ghouls, Destroyers, and Expansion with a strong early game. We do have the Ghouls. We will have Destroyers. I wonder, we'll be seeing some fiends.
Here they come, the Ghouls at least. Sacrificial Pit requires a lot of lumber that goes into upgrades. But we get Frenzy, we get Destroyers, and that's the big fight so close. Usually in the micro department, 1-0, as crazy as it sounds, is a little ahead in these big fights later on. Is that the case today?
Destroyer form coming soon. Happy's still not making fiends. He's got 700 gold almost.
That's very curious. Dark Ranger out. Of course, you want the Dark Ranger on the other side as well. Black Arrow for 1-0. Against the Ghouls, obviously. Good solution to take them out as quickly as possible. But Happy's gonna have the silence.
Looks like he's waiting for the Destroyer form. Maybe he's gonna morph both. Try to smash with a lot of damage. No heal through on Happy though. That seems like a bit of an oversight. On those ghouls would be so effective.
Big invul potion for 120. More creeping. Happy has level leads. 4, close to 3. 120 isn't ready yet, is he? Would love to have this last hit. Doesn't get it. Happy's getting all of it. And that is no level 2 coil.
Happy's still without any feeds. Not a single one. It's going to be interesting to see how the strategies and army compositions progress through the series. Did he just buy a Robo the Magi?
Yep. That's exactly what he did.
400 gold?
That is a lot of gold, Remo.
It's more than a Frostworm. Alright.
It is a lot of mana, it is a lot of damage. 120 wants these last tiny bits of experience. Getting caught down Portal Force. That's the first of the series. And I can't help but feel that Happy has a huge lead. Double ring on the DK as well. But there might be a creep check opportunity on the horizon for 120.
I think it's still pretty even. As long as there's no Banshees, which we don't have. Alright, in we go.
Okay then, Fiends versus Ghouls, Destroyers on both sides. Here's the first Fiend, but that's also the double level up. It's so important for 120 to get this. It's all about the Ghouls, and they take a lot of flag. Fiend safe to the side. The other one, there's so much damage, but the heal scroll is ready. Needs more coils. That's the Fiend falling, but Happy down to 45 as well. The ground force is quickly evaporating. Now down to the Destros and the heroes. 120 with another Fiend caught here. Still neck and neck. Ledge gets a coil last second. So close, but what's left? An info potion is silence on both. Nova again. Dark Ranger in trouble for Happy. Maybe. Can he run? He needs to. Nova so hard to run against that. Hero kill possible. Maybe. Can he reach? The Rings of Region would be so good. Or a coil. Fantastic save by Happy once again on Northern. And there's even ghouls still alive. Next Nova hits 120. Fight neck and neck. Both first heroes on the verge of being eliminated. But again, both saved.
Ooh, that was a dangerous exchange. I think pretty much a wash. Both players got lots of kills. Didn't favor anybody in my opinion. But Warriors making more Fiends. Happy's refusing still to go for them. And now we have a second Slaughterhouse. Alright, it is time for Mass Destroyers. We're back in 2012.
Are you sure it's not Mass A-Bombs, Remo, just to make sure? Obviously.
Maybe it's Mass Wagons. Who knows?
Oh yeah, that's a very good idea. We have great ideas here in the Grand Final. This, I have to mention it, was the great mana potion for Happy in that fight. 120 still holds on to the big invul potion, and that might be the big difference. Unlucky item for 120. It's just the unholy aura that he already has. Happy playing lottery. What's it gonna be? Katga's pipe. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
And Happy also getting closer to level ups. Dark Ranger about to be 3, Lich and DK. Not too far away from level ups either. I think that's the base advantage here. Looking at the heroes, that's the big lead for Happy. He's so much closer to meaningful level ups and just in general has more experience on his side.
Also the items. Lich is doing a lot more damage. DK is a lot more safe. Mana regen on his side as well. 120, he oftentimes said, I have the strategies, Happy has the micro, and the strategies differ a lot. Mass Destroyers versus Mass Fiends. No Banshees to back this up. How are Mass Fiends gonna work against soon-to-be level 3 Nova?
And that is the big concern. If it was only level 4 Lich and a couple of Banshees in the mix, 120 can definitely win that fight. But, well, I forgot. Wait, can Destroyers nowadays dispel anti-magic or can they not? They cannot,
Yes,
right?
yeah, they can. It was quote-unquote fixed.
Ah, it was... okay. Cool! Isn't that nice?
No. We
These are
have
the last creeps on the map. Dark Ranger's level 3. This Lich will have endless amounts of mana for Happy.
How do you turn this ship around? 120. The fighting execution needs to be stellar. This time he has no heal scroll to his chest. The Lich is stacked on both sides. But the Brilliance Aura, already 400 mana points regenerated.
Would love to see some more upgrades for Happy. Just one single armor upgrade. The value that it has is immense.
He was pretty heavy on lumber. He invested into the sack pit. He invested into the second slaughterhouse, of course. But by now, he should be able to afford it, but it's just mass. Just mass. And I haven't seen the second slaughterhouse play by Happy just yet. This is new.
1-0. Pushing across the map. Doesn't have a TP, by the way. Happy when he morphs the destroyers, he's gonna be really strong. Yeah. Often it's gonna be a good move to fake an attack in the other mirror, force all the destroyers to just TP out, but there is no TP.
Heal scroll. Okay, Kaho was able to win at exactly that position, but it's an entirely different matchup, of course. Nova hits hard, running away here. Almost impossible. We don't even have an Unholy Aura advantage. This looks like a straight up win for Happy in game 1. Supply lead. These fiends are just getting decimated. Orb of Annihilation standing true to the name, but the coil is there for now, at least. Statues being threatened. So much damage. Happy is just absolutely overwhelming. 1-0 trying to go for a hero kill. Invo potion has to be there, but so are the coils. Heroes on the verge of being eliminated. Destroyer mirror back on the menu. Mana is an issue for 1-0 though. How do you possibly salvage this with everything about to die?
Happy wins the fight at home, or does he? Supply is still very, very even. Ghouls died, fiends died, and the destroyers remain. Just mass destroyed in the end. Might be what this is gonna be looking like.
No, 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 no. This will not be the entire series. Massive Nova. The Happy cleanup has begun. 7 supply lead all of a sudden. Destroyer still chasing. Fiends, not working out at all. It was a weird army transition by 1-0. We were questioning how is that supposed to work. Answer was it didn't. Level 5 on the Lich now, and I think this DK doesn't have a bright future ahead of him. If there's one more Nova, but there isn't. He taps out before. Statement win, Happy. 1-0 in the grand final.
Alright, Happy may have found the answer to Ted Fiend build, and ironically, it might be just pure destroyer. Don't try to follow up with fiends of your own. You're gonna have fewer. Don't rely on the ghouls only, because they're gonna get weaker over the game, especially thanks to Nova, Focus Fire, Minions, Dark Ranger, and so on. The destroyers are back, boys.
I don't know why you're so enthusiastic about this, Mr. Remo. But yeah, mass Destros. That is the play, and it's a damn smart play. Noticeable that Happy is not playing as per usual. Definitely tech switches, definitely timing switches. He came prepared for this grand final.
Second map, though, is going to be very different. Amazonia, we didn't see much of at all this tournament. It got vetoed very frequently, especially, of course, against the Night Elves. But now we will see it here. It's the smallest map we have in the pool, basically impossible to expand, and might force 1-0's hand into also playing a ghoul build. If you don't play ghoul build on AZ, you have big problems creeping.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Is he just gonna play all-out pressure once again, harassing the entire time? Then basically every single last hit has to work, which is almost impossible, especially versus Happy. But we all know that 1-0 is very, very confident in his skills and his abilities. By the way, shout out to the players for not picking Amazonia too much, for just banning it straight up the entire time. This map deserves the bans.
This map deserves to be removed and never be played again is what it deserves. But fortunately in this tournament, I think it was the least played. Yeah, only 5 games played on AZ. Even Terrastand had clearly more with 8. Terrastand, we won't see, but now it's time in a bit. Oh yeah, now it's time to see Amazonia.
Is Happy gonna grab the 2-0 lead in the best of 7 grand final? That would be half the way. But 1-0 must have a reason why he picked this. And it can't be his regular play, can it? We got a DK by 1-0. We got a Lich by Happy. And it is the Ted Fiend build.
Even on this map.
Even
Okay.
on this map.
The downside is when you don't have a ghoul build, obviously you're weaker early, and they can oftentimes mean that the opponent gets fast level 2. They might get both kobold camps in the middle. Maybe finds 2 claws and gets a fast level 3. Really hard to play against that. 1-0 isn't making it easy for himself here on AZ, but also shows us that he's feeling confident in his strats and in his abilities.
That's what you need. All right. Very little time to think. Is it just the size of Northern Isles that enables the Mass Destroyer play? Do we have faster timings that prevent this tech switch to double Slaughterhouse? And if everything goes straight up, is that just what 120 wants to play? Thank you, Lonely Driver, for the 20-month resub. Also, Colin for Life for the 29-month resub. Much appreciated. TP sold and circlets. And happy. He's just rushing across.
Oh, wow. Change of pace.
Yeah.
Happy doing something perhaps unpredictable on this map that can creep so well, but Happy don't care. I like the base build by 1-0 though. I like it a lot. Narrow bend front with an with a narrow upgrading, and that is super good for the Lich, but Happy just runs right past it without a TP. Whoa. Big
That's
risks by Happy early.
Crazy risky indeed. We have a few ghouls to work with, but of course with Ted Fiend build you have 3 ghouls and that's it for the longest time. First Fiend will help, a little bit of narrow coverage on the Lich, but it's all about the ghouls and their damage against the Acolytes. Happy can start the tech very, very soon. It is a commitment, but it seems like it's paying off. The coils are not really on time. It's the first Acolyte down. This already delays the tag. Lich under pressure. 1 ghoul dead. Oh, the coil misses! It's the second Acolyte down!
That's a pretty big mistake. That's painful. Every Acolyte here falling is gonna be possibly problematic. How big will the tech advantage be in the end, though?
Next Echo saved. The skeletons are still ravaging the economy. Storm weathered, but at what? At tier 1, at 2 Echo losses, and now with the first Fiend out. Happy starts the tech. It's not even that big of an advantage. Lich wasn't gaining too many levels. Maybe in the end it wasn't that big, but it's of course also mining time.
Yeah, I think this favors 1-0 actually. Now he's not going to be too far behind in levels. He's going to have the Fiends to start creeping soon. And Happy's level 3 is greatly delayed.
And it's like 300 gold plus the 2 Acolytes. That's alright. But I think Happy expected more. It also forces the narrow, of course. But you were talking about this. Kobold camps in the middle. 1-0 confident.
I'm certainly going to get the 1. He's got the Skellies as well to summon more. The Rod. Oh, but Happy's going to show up, isn't he?
Okay, can't prevent level 2. The big one still up for grabs. And last hits against Nova is basically impossible if everything is played correctly. Skeleton last hit. Nice Fiend usage, but the Taskmaster is out on a field trip, isn't he?
Happy with his minions, can split the forces, put some pressure on the Fiend with the ghouls, and Happy's playing this pretty well.
Yeah. As he always does everything. Skeletons get it going down. Double claw, dude. Ooh, scary, scary inventory already. So much pressure must be coming out of Happy. He knows his opponent has basically nothing. He has a hero and a Fiend, and that's it. But of course, he's saving a lot of resources for the later stages.
DK needs to get some more experience. He's starting to fall behind against the Lich, isn't he?
He is. Level 3, soon to be unlocked. Can grind it maybe with these kobolds with a handful of skeletons. But 1-0 is again getting a ghoul early, but Happy, denies it. Nicely done. Coil misses. 2.98. And if he gets that level up, the DK might just be dead. Naga second. That's so much pressure. Nova around the corner. He has the mana now.
Oh my god.
Oh
What
my
is
god.
going on here?
counter Naga to slow down the Naga that was supposed to slow down the Lich and get the kill. Oh, Happy.
Yo!
Ever reigning Emperor with a double kill.
How good is the Naga right there? Great clutch decision by Happy. Oh, and the next Fiend. Oh
boy. This is hell on earth for 120. Yep, and that's game. 2-0!
Whoa!
Big Demi in big shape! My god, what a beast! Tramples on 120 on Amazonia.
Yeah, sick play by Happy. Honestly, the first initial attack was okay defended by 120. Missing the coil on the other Acolyte, losing the second Acolyte, that was the first mistake he missed. Quite a few coils there, to be honest. And then the Naga a bit too late, Lich gets to level 3. I mean, also the double claws, my, were they nice. But Happy also doing this real well. Now, map 3 is Echo Isles. This one might be the odd one out, because if there is one map to play expansion on, it's Echo Isles.
Wow. Happy is definitely reached a new level here, is outplaying 120. Unlike a lot of series before, we were questioning 120's shape actually throughout the entire tournament, except yesterday. He couldn't preserve that shape from yesterday up until today, but we've seen crazy turnarounds in series versus Happy just recently. Lin did it, 120 did it, Kaho did it. It's time for one of these turnarounds once again. Echo Isles it is. Thank you, Dink, for the 8-month resub. We go on to map 3. And after this map, it could be 4 match points. Happy. Let's get it on.
Wow, and 120 even here goes for the Ted Fiend build. Still no Ghoul opening. Still no Lich. Again, it's the DK. This would be, if Happy scouts it, if Happy scouts the enemy build, this will be the perfect opportunity for a fast expansion. If Happy goes fast expansion here, he 95% wins just from the build. But Happy normally tries to avoid fast expo. May just play in one base in the end.
This build by 120 is slow until it comes together, and so far Happy is exploiting it with strong creeping on Northern Isles, with heavy pressure on Amazonia. What can he do here now? Is it that expansion that he loves so dearly versus Night Elf? 120 has to step up his game. The last hits aren't working. The timings aren't working. The positioning isn't perfect. It's not the ultra highest level that the winner of 3 consecutive TP League finals can acquire.
Good Acolyte Scout. Sees exactly what's going on. Happy with the Lich, with the Skellies. May want to go for instant aggression again. DK creeping up a bit at the start.
Okay, off to the same. Happy comes across again. Narup coming. And Happy with the AZ pressure on Echo Isles.
Alright. Happy doing the same thing, the exact same thing, 2 games in a row. But this time, 120 looks prepared.
We'll see. He was a bit prepared on AZ, but it wasn't enough. The Narup is there in a more defensive position to cover more of the haunted gold mine. So far, no Acolyte down. First Nova has already been used. The coils have to work and the blocks have to be there. Skeleton, careful. The next Nova might hit 2 Acolytes here, and it's 3 Acolytes down, Remo!
That's a lot of ghouls perhaps also falling. Happy investing heavily, sacrificing many of his ghouls. And look at that, the DK is already level 2. What's the tech difference? Not much at all. I think this is a great start for 120.
Ooh, another ghoul. Yep, make it 4. Plus the DK level that you mentioned. Also a claw on his side. Happy hasn't crept much yet. Okay, playable. Gold difference. Also less than before. It's only 100 gold. Okay, we're talking.
Happy this time also doesn't get the double claws, but double gloves. Which is at least better than the rings. But 1-0 now in a very, very playable game. I think he realizes it.
Moving forward aggressively, trying to prevent Lich levels. Nova, not there in time for the last hit. Low supply game so far. Happy, is he just going for round 2? Healing gets cancelled.
Zero's confidence seems to be surging.
This is the chip damage that we want to see. Always a Frostmourne swing, always a Fiend shot, always on the heroes. And Happy might be outmaneuvered for the first time in the Grand Final. This is the level they're playing at, right? Don't do the same thing twice, otherwise they're gonna be countered.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising, I think, to see Happy go for this. I mean, Echo Isle, similar to AZ, the base-to-base rush distance is short, but if the opponent knows it's coming and is well prepared, I mean, 1-0 just showed how you can deal with it well. Perhaps Happy a bit too aggressive here on this map, but he could afford to do that. Of course, still has a 2-0 lead, and this game is far from over. But 1-0 clearly has a lead here.
Will that transcend into the late game, or will Happy's Mass Destroyers be the solution? Butt Crumbs is definitely a solution to a low sub counter. Thank you very much for gifting a sub to a person called Remo Demo. Haven't seen that guy before anywhere.
Oh well, thank you. Butt Crumbs again and again.
Yeah. To be precise,
DK
851 times.
With his build is ahead of the Legend experience or very even in experience, that's a great sign for 1-0.
Tier 3 also. Pretty much the same timing. Lich coming, DK coming, and then we have an even playing field. 1-0 doesn't want to contest anymore, goes to the shop. And that is one of the 3 unique spots on this map. As Happy is more conservative this time. Staying on his side, on the left. And that's an advantage. Level 3 DK, what a difference! Not only to Amazonia, but also to Northern Isles, where level 3 was unlocked at what, the 12-minute mark?
Happy now quite passive, just creeping up for now. Gonna find another Gloves of Haze, that's 3 of them, which gives him some good attack speed, but they don't properly work multiplicatively, so they don't exactly work so well in conjunction. Would have loved to have some claws instead, but you can't always get them.
Can later distribute maybe 1 or 2 to the Dark Ranger. She always appreciates that. And she doesn't have to get her hands dirty. Second spot for 1-0. And that is the big consumable. Happy had a big mana potion before. That will not be the case on this map. Big healing potion, also good for the exchanges. As 1-0 is working on his inventory again.
It's got an acolyte here.
Yeah. That's odd.
He's not thinking of expanding, is he? Before destroys, before orb, that would be weird. Might just use it to scout. I mean, he had a 6 acolyte earlier to be ready for a possible push, you know, so scout now with it. I guess that makes sense. 1-0's army, admittedly, still very small.
As it oftentimes is with this build, Happy is making a small adjustment compared to Northern Isles as well, as there's no sacrificial pit just yet. No scouting information, no punishment with that. Dark Ranger out for Happy, a little bit faster, but that should even out soon as well. Double claw circlet ring on the Lich, has an exquisite inventory. Going for frost armor again.
Happy taking out a big camp in the bottom left. It took quite some time, but he's gonna get the big item. Oh, and the lion horn, that is very nice.
Solid defense
1-0's
upgrade.
Lich is getting giga stacked.
Orb online, triple claw, let's go. This is what we want, this is what we need in even series. In the grand final, Happy is getting ready for 50, 1-0 is getting ready for 50. Destroyer is even faster for 1-0 due to the build. And then we'll see what these 7 ghouls of Happy are able to.
Alright, who can creep faster? Take out the rest of the map quicker. The ghouls certainly move more quickly. Oh, and Happy could also get the next bottom right. 1-0 is in the north, far away. Happy might be able to catch up or pull ahead, I suppose. Pull ahead in experience.
And that was the big lead on Northern Isles. Will this repeat? It's 1-0. I mean, he is expecting a push. It's just Happy switching it up. A little bit at least. Frenzy is ready. Destroyer is about to be ready, but this is a different prioritization by Happy compared to what we've seen before. He played this almost identical to the big Night Elf Frenzy pushes when he wanted to get rid of all the fiends and then play destroyers from there. Here, a little more conservative, 1 extra camp, maybe even the Merc camp, dude. If he gets both of them, he's super far ahead in levels.
1-0 having nothing left to creep really in the north, feels the need to push to Happy's main base, and Happy having no TP. We'll have to buy one? Probably.
Otherwise, his shop goes down, and how do you play Mass Destroyers without a shop? I tell you, it's impossible as it blocks the tech tree. And more creeping. His base is under attack, he decides to go for that creep spot. Level 4 Lich, 3 and 2 online, and 1-0 plays without a third hero. Yeah, I'm as silenced as you are, Remo. This is crazy. No TP out. Lich is stacked, but the Fiends are getting decimated. Nova on both sides, getting rid of ghouls, of Fiends. But this is, of course, more expensive. Losses for 1-0. Saves this Fiend for now. And Happy. 6 ghouls dead, and the shop needs to get these Fiends somehow. Only 1 out of 2. Is that enough? Neck and neck fight, and once again, we have these Destroyer morphs. Happy has no web, though. His Lich is safer, is doing a lot of damage. This is a lot of hero focus against 1-0, but there's a coil. That was the last one. Is it time to TP out? No Invo Potion here.
Oh, 1-0. Gonna go back, retreat, low mana on the DK, and saved a lot of his army. This time, didn't lose all of the Fiends, was able to save some of them. And that fight goes to 1-0, but you mentioned it before, he has dual hero only. No Dark Ranger at all.
I mean, silence when you have a lot of destroyers should be dispelled at all times. Maybe it's more about higher levels, but also like the synergy between Black Arrow and Lich is so good, but he doesn't have Death Pact, so that doesn't really count. This is clearly by choice, but is it the right choice?
Yeah, it's rarely seen, but it might make sense. Maybe it's just better to have higher level undead at DK and Lich, and more importantly, more Fiends. The Dark Ranger almost takes up the supply of 2 Fiends, maybe have more of them, more upgrades for them, make it harder for Happy to eliminate them early.
What's left on the map? Not too much. 4-3 heroes on both sides, plus of course the addition of a Dark Ranger. An Acolyte is moving out again. Happy is scouting for it, expecting it. But not... Oh, did he see it? Maybe he did last second.
Yeah, it was close. Very close. But Happy can't jump into upkeep right away. He lost quite a bit in the early game. Didn't have a big bank here. And 1-0 has his win condition running now. Haunted Goldmine coming up.
Okay, Happy. Need to put the pedal to the metal and punish this. He knows it. He's getting ready for it. Mana potion on the DK. Heal scroll on 1-0. One shop and one shop only. Shop control, you know it. Upgrades. 1-1 on 1-0 side. Upgrade advantage. Oftentimes his strength. Shop was kicked for about 2 minutes, I think. No statue reinforcements, but Happy, of course, rebuilding. Town portal is available, but you can't portal to the Haunted Goldmine. This will be a cancel, but at what cost? Happy again, no TP.
一位玩家的部队正遭到攻击，一座基地正遭到围攻。
Oh, Happy backing up. The Haunted apparently won't be cancelled. And he doesn't have the money to go for a TP either. Has to run home. Man, that takes forever.
The question always is with like Destroyers and Fiends, how much damage are you really doing? But the damage is the damage that Happy didn't do to this Haunted Goldmine, to the second base. He's actually losing the Slaughterhouse. Such a tanky building, and you know what? 1-0 can just portal away before taking too much damage. Or is he willing to fight this? Shouldn't, really. Ghouls are there, at least a little something. And that's the TP out with one Fiend and one statue gone. But worth it.
A big advantage 1-0. Alright, now the game is easy. He just has to defend, and he has the means to do it. Strong army, lots of supply, good heroes, good items, and valuable consumables also. Happy will have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to win this one. He morphed the Destroyers, the mana is ticking down. Everything in favor of 1-0.
And of course he can't build statues at the moment. There's no statue in the army of Happy. No regen during the fight. 5 Destros all in. And 1-0 is far ahead. This Lich level 4 has Dark Ritual now, Death Pact now. Fiends need to be saved, and they can web, and they can do some damage. Reinforcement should be trickling in immediately. Oh, the coil misses. Good opener for Happy. The second Fiend might be falling as well, but DK is diving deep. Doesn't have that much. Invo potion for 7 seconds. Okay, repositioning is on the way. DK for 1-2-0 also forced into an Invo potion. Explosive fight on both sides as we're ending up once again with Mass Destroyer, but a double retreat on the heroes of Happy. Only the Dark Ranger standing tall in the middle of it all. It's just getting ignored for the time being. But Happy, he might be down in supply, but the push is very much alive with another Invo potion, with another mana potion. 1-2-0 is a little bit in trouble here.
A lot of hero focus again. The Lich is on both sides doing lots of damage. Who's got more healing? Who's got more coils?
Destroyers are falling. That was the mana potion. 2 more coils. Mind you, Happy couldn't get statues for a long time as the mana is trickling in for 1-2-0. But the Lich in focus is nice. The coils have always been available. Fiend trickle damage doesn't necessarily work too well. Do we have another Nova for that one nuke? How did Happy do this, man? It is fantastic. 1-2-0 is crumbling, isn't he?
I don't know, he's got the statues, he can still heal up. He's got the heroes and of course the expansion. I still favor 1-2-0 here. Just need some mana potions and healing, but still have to be very careful about the heroes. Next invuln goes to Happy, and that is a big deal.
Now the statue's back as well. The Destroyer, I think, didn't fall. How long can he work with this expo? Shop control on Happy. Map control on Happy. Destroyer safe to the side. Used as a scout. Only 3 acolytes here. It's not fully mining. And Happy, what's he doing? 1-2-0 is scouting for expansions. Can't find any, as we only have 5 acolytes.
Marketplace. Is Happy gonna buy something here?
It's an all-in now, isn't it? Has to be.
Yeah, I think so. Break into upkeep one last time. Hope to break the towers.
That is, of course, a lot of time for 1-2-0. Big mana potion bought on Happy. A clear sign for an all-in. He's down a base. He's down in supply. This has to work.
Wonder has a big army though. He's looking good.
Happy is positioning between the 2 bases. Fiends might be intercepted. Narup tower up. But that is only one. Here we go. Nuke on the DK immediately. Forces that Invo potion. Crucial moment by 1-0. The coils are also hitting. The Fiends are soaking up a lot of damage. Statues on the ground should be dispelled. A lot of fodder for the Lich. dealing with the ghouls. That's nice. Level 5 on 120. The hero advantage in levels is noticeable now. Happy's DK under fire, and there's no invo potion. He was also blasting through the mana potion. No death pack. That's the kill, and that's the defense that 120 needed. There's no way you can win this fight without a DK anymore. And that Lich is about to go down, but saved by the bell, by the coil. That was the last Hail Mary. That Lich advantage is not coming to fruition anymore. That Lich advantage actually is gone, as 120, with 2 heroes only, is claiming, or about to claim, map 3. Happy sees it as well. GG.
Alright, I like the adjustment here. Skipping the Dark Ranger. I think that's a smart move. Honestly, she's not that good against this build. Ironically, normally against ghouls, you think she is good, but against the destroyers, her spells will always be this build. Rather have more fiends instead of Dark Ranger, rather have more upgrades and stronger other heroes. I think this was the right approach by 120. Happy now has to consider what he experienced there as we move to map 4. This is Happy's first pick. It is Tidehunters.
And of course, the longer the series go, we have to raise the question, how fit is Happy still? This was map number 11 that he played in a row. 120, only down to 3, a little fresher, maybe. Tidehunters it is. Another map where expansions are possible, but can also easily be overwhelmed by a Lich. We set the stage on Amazonia and Echo Isles with that rush by Happy. Will he do this again? I don't think so. The defense on Echo Isles was way too good. As I was notified that we have some technical difficulties that will be solved in a second. The tower position was good on Amazonia. 120 was expecting this already. The Narrow was a little far forward. On Echo Isles, a better position, more coverage on that Haunted Gold Mine, and Happy's pressure went into no man's land, despite some Acolyte kills, wasn't enough. And then a cheeky expansion at the end for 120. Remo, I was asking if there's another ghoul push by Happy coming.
I wouldn't really think so. Tidehunters also is a lot longer of a rush distance compared to Echo Isles. And that push really didn't work out too well at all. I think that set Happy behind right from the get-go. In general, you know, on map 1, we saw him just creeping. Map 2, being aggressive. That worked out pretty decent. But in general, I think just having the creep opening is the stronger opening rather than pushing into the enemy main base, unless, of course, 120 messes up. But as the series here continues, it seems like 120 is looking more and more promising.
And if the start to a series is oftentimes not 120's forte, he's oftentimes losing the first map of a series and then he's really online. We're seeing this now. Maybe a little late, but he's definitely competing for this championship. 120-1, Happy 2, map 4. Will Happy claim match points now on his first map pick, Tidehunters?
Much of the same here is true as on Echo Isles. This map is extremely good for fast expansion. Tedfiend build is extremely bad against fast expansion, but 120 doesn't mind. He's again playing the Tedfiend build with a narrow bin front and is expecting Happy to possibly push him.
First signs of fatigue, maybe. Brushing through his face, Happy is. Once again, only one shop. Some unique spots on the map. The lower side is very XP heavy. The red spot with the biggest item is in the north. A wonderful dynamic on this map. Makes Tidehunters very interesting. And it is, for now, the same builds we expected.
There's a couple of different ways Happy can play it, of course. He can again play the Smork way and just go into the enemy main base, try to kill as many acolytes as possible. That is not very sophisticated, I suppose, but can be effective. But last map, it wasn't. This map also is amazing for ghoul creeping, by the way. The Lich here can creep up and stack up super fast.
He could also harass and creep a little with the ghoul. Maybe that's what you mentioned as well. Okay. Ghouls, only 2 out on the map. That is most likely creeping and no base dive. Happy adjusting his weapons.
DK with a circlet. Sold the TP. Nova, of course, secures the last hit. And we see the first couple of items being picked up here. But I think this is a pretty decent start so far for 1-0, putting some damage on the Lich. But that's what we got the Ritual Dagger for. Using the last Nova on the Skellies. Whoa. Really doesn't like those little Skelly boys.
Okay. That was a coil a little bit too late to save that second skeleton, but that's about it. Lich down to 50%. Ritual Dagger, of course, also used to deny XP, and this was only the DK pressure. Usually, the real problems begin with the Fiend, which is just not there yet. A little bit of a poke into Happy's base as well, as you don't really need the skeletons for creeping right now. Why not put some pressure on Acolytes?
Happy probably a bit upset that the circuit was taken away from him. He's a big fan of that circuit. Perhaps we'll get one again later. Creeping now the green camp. It's going to be a level 2 for the Lich nice and early. Who gets +3 int on every level. And on level 4, he even gets 4 int.
Really, Remo?
It's pretty crazy.
Incredible. Also incredible is all the last hits going towards 1-0. 0 XP on the DK yet. Not even a single skeleton.
Man, Happy really wants that circuit.
He still has to play around the cooldown quite a bit. 10 seconds? Maybe even more? We see it at the top. Could you wake up the creeps and have them backstab Happy?
Yeah, true. It might be a possibility.
Ooh.
But Happy goes for the boots instead. I guess perhaps the circuit a bit too expensive. This tier 2 will soon be reached in the DK, and tier 3 shall follow. Will we see Fiends finally? No. I am not mistaken, right? I think Happy didn't play a single Fiend yet this final.
This grand final? Absolutely not. Ghouls, Destros, and 1 Shade! And of course, statues as the foundation for Destros. We deny as many skeletons as possible. We don't feed. We have an Acolyte around the tavern for 1-0.
Is he gonna go Naga again?
Yeah, he absolutely is. Not too sure if I like this yet, but maybe he feels the pressure to do something here on Amazonia. That was countered heavily and very, very fast. Fiends moving forward, getting hit by the ghouls, same as the DK. Is this pressure working out? I don't know. 1-0 has no TP.
Disengage. 5 minutes 30, 0 experience on 1-0. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, this is not good. Both on the way to tier 3. This Naga is of course nukeable later on, and will not be the double hero play that we've seen on Echo Owls that got so strong in the late game. You gotta creep up a storm, my friend.
Yeah, also when Happy is going for the same army again, you know, Frenzy Ghouls, Destroyers, running in with Nova. That Naga is very attackable. It's not like it's a slow-moving Fiend army that has a tough time sometimes getting into range. Happy will be on top of you instantly. This Naga needs potions.
The best thing about the Naga has always been Fork Lightning alongside Nova for that huge burst damage. But Happy should be able to counter this. Lich is roaming. Oh, that's a big kill coming up on the Fiend, maybe. But rather focuses on new skeletons and taking more XP away. He's flirting with that Fiend, isn't he? So far. DK! Oh, wow! Drops the circlet for the potion. Big mana acquired by 1-0, by the way. Item. Was it steal by Happy? No, just picked it up as well. Naga now, you mentioned it! This time no potion available, and that's another hero kill for Happy. Just exploding. The skeleton blocks are fantastic. This game is a disaster for 1-0 again.
At least he's saving the fiends, but he lost the Naga. He had to buy a heal potion and a mana potion. The Naga is quickly backfiring.
And the mana potion, yeah, was used, as you said. Ooh, that's a problem now. Happy basically with heroes only. Saves the ghouls for the power spike later. The coil misses as well. Just when we thought 1-0 was picking up momentum, Happy is at it right again.
And he has another coil Nova. This Naga will need some help.
1-0 needs some help. Every help that he can possibly get. Dark Ranger up. Happy's not changing a thing. Cool Frenzy coming. And oh, 1-0, you need the special plays now.
Found a parry apt for the Naga. That is really good. Protects her from right click and nuke. This could make the difference for her survival. We have the orb now. DK level 2. Out in the open, Happy will still be very dangerous.
I think Happy is always dangerous at all times. 24/7, 365. Can you imagine waking up this guy in the middle of the night?
He's ready to go at all times, like the Terminator. But at least 1-0 is getting some more creeping in. 2-2 heroes now is a lot better than 1-1 heroes. Not twice as good. Happy also getting a big camp.
Red spot, item up for grabs. Ghouls constantly replenished. Item is the Ankh. Nice little backup, little fallback net. Same as the big invo potion. 1-0 is working on web against the incoming destroyers. That is inevitable. These heroes are still so weak. But Lich getting another Nova in. And Happy is pulling back. Doesn't want to fight into 1-0 space, and I guess that's smart.
Alright, seems like 1-0 will finally be allowed to get those levels. He's got some really good items. Here from the lab, gonna find the robe. That's good. Gonna get Lich level 2 here. Happy starting the transition. Second slaughterhouse, and we'll see lots of destroyers again.
Okay, we get some time on the clock though. 1-0 needs to scout this, needs to play this better. It's very, very similar to what we've seen on Northern Isles. Did you just buy a town portal? I guess he did. Heal scroll, invo potion, all available for Happy. Devotion aura as well. How do you survive this upcoming push?
And where's Happy gonna strike?
Looks like he's going into the main. Straight up. Working on his mass destroyers. At least 1-0 has some levels now. Level 2 coil, level 2 fork lightning. Big help against the ghouls on the ground that might buy some space for fiends later. Upgrades aren't there yet. He's working on the 1, but oh my god, you're not allowed a single ghoul here in this grand final, are you?
2 more statues coming. Happy could more 4 destroyers when they're ready. He's lacking a bit of gold, but we'll soon have it. This cool thing here is Happy forced the TP, so now if he engages with the destroyers, then 1-0 can't TP out until he buys a new one. He doesn't have a new one yet.
1-0 trying to squeeze out some more gold, stays in no upkeep for a long time. Happy is morphing destroyers in his base. As you mentioned before, the mana is trickling down second by second. Oh, 1-0, that's so greedy. Oh, that's so greedy. Exposing himself without a town portal to the camps. Waking them up for now into an inconvenient position. Do you want to fight this? You're 10 supply down. There's mana here. Silence on the DK. Pretty much perfect execution by Happy so far. Chasing these fiends around. Ghouls on the ground will be taken out easily. So is the Lich. Maybe! Heal scroll. Invo. everything. Transfer to the Lich. The counter focus is coming in. DK by Happy in a little bit of trouble, but he has an Invo Potion. Nuke on the Naga, who of course cannot be coiled. Happy's Lich in trouble. Invo Potion as well. 1-0 needs these hero kills, but he's receiving one. Frostmourne, Hungers, Happy, no TP, one on. Can you save both of these heroes somehow? Lich getting coiled. Incredible performance by Happy once again. 10 supply up. Lich getting nuked as well. The silence on the DK. The Dark Ranger maybe a little better than expected. GG Happy. One map away from defending his TP League title here in the summer. What a game.
The Naga, an interesting attempt by 1-0, but it didn't really work out. Seems to have thrown him back. He finally got the levels in the late game, but Happy with their wonderful time to fight. 1-0 also perhaps over chasing out on the map. This was the perfect engagement for Happy. He morphed all the destroyers and was like, great, you're here, let's fight. And 1-0 gets caught out, with his pants down.
Don't really understand the movement by 1-0 there. Why was he so deep out on the map? I mean, fighting for shop control, I can't imagine that. He really wanted to contest the turtles? That looks very questionable.
Yeah. To be fair, he was really close to getting some hero kills there as well. Happy almost lost some of his own, but a great play with the coils, with the items being passed and so on. Happy keeping his heroes alive, taking those of 1-0 out, and Happy now on match point, championship point.
That is quite incredible. These guys are fighting best of sevens all the time. The past 4 best of sevens all went 1-0's way. The last one, that Happy one, was the TP League Season 1 Grand Final in January. It's been half a year of 1-0 dominance in these best of sevens, in these Grand Finals. But now, Happy is with one hand at the trophy, and 1-0 needs 3 wins in a row. This sounds impossible, but this guy makes the impossible possible. Let's go. 3 match points Happy.
Last Refuge, I thought, might perhaps be a map where both would play Ted Fiends. It's a great map for Ted Fiends, mainly because it's a bit rough for ghoul creeping, but Happy still is going for it. It's a ghoul build with a Lich. Happy sticks to his guns, same as 1-0. This is a battle of strategies, of philosophies, and both are still convinced that theirs is the right one.
Very stubborn. 4 maps in a row with Ted Fiend play. To be honest, it's been an entire year of Ted Fiend play, and for the longest time was very, very successful. But Happy is bringing the change. Happy is the one with mass destroyers, double slaughterhouses, better control early, new challenges in the early. It's not the DK Fiend harass all over that was so dreadful, that cost him so much HP on his first heroes. Happy so far, better prepared.
And this time, I'm gonna go for creeping instead of instant harass. I think that is the better way to play it. With the Acolyte pull also annoying the DK a bit, who is starting off with a bit of creeping as well. Claws, both can be satisfied. The 1-0 knows, unless he messes with Happy, Happy will be the one creeping faster with those rules.
Should be the case. Also safer. Claws on both sides. Good start. So where are we moving now? Is it just a mirrored movement across the map? 1-0 is not allowing Happy a deny, not allowing Happy an Acolyte last hit. But a little bit of time! That was like 7 seconds? And what's he doing with that time? Ooh, aggressive 1-0, not going for the Shadow Priest.
Fast attack, of course, on the Chinese. That is the nature of that build. Now we're gonna have the first little skirmish, perhaps.
Nova on the skeletons. Lich advantage. 1-0 doesn't really find any significant damage. Tanking with the DK. And Happy just stealing the Shadow Priest away. The coils weren't really on time. You gotta be careful. There's a Nova inbound on DK and Fiend alike. That's a bit much damage on the DK, maybe. Can he just turn around and surround the Fiend?
Happy did this really well. He was baiting the DK to stick around for the coil and put so much damage on him. Now the DK is too hurt to really continue fighting. Happy using the creep here as bait, perfectly playing around it.
At least the Fiend gets home at 50%, but home. There is a Ritual Dagger. There's illusions now. And again, 1-0 has a tough challenge ahead of him, but he sets the challenge for himself with that Tet Fiend build.
And now because the DK is too hurt, Happy can freely creep the natural. That should be an easy level 3. How close is the tier 2 though? 1-0 at the tavern. Can he do something with the second hero?
Is it again Naga time? Failed 2 times already. Tech around the corner. So, lag. Fix stream, please. There we go.
Happy with really good scouting here. Whenever he is creeping something that is slightly dangerous, he's sending a scout out to see if 1-0 is approaching, which oftentimes he is, and Happy then can anticipate and react. And it's a fast level 3 Lich. DK still only level 1. Not having the aura here, it hurts. It's annoying.
I feel your pain, Mr. Remo Demo. Even the Lich block here, with the creeps woken up.
Wow.
You know, that's just such a high level play. And snare, bit of chip damage. It's so good.
Slows down the Fiends, forced to coil, a tiny bit of damage on the DK. And the Lich continues to creep up a bit more. This might be quite the fast level 4 Lich, and perhaps again a level 5.
Both healings got cancelled. DK very low. You want the Unholy Aura to work in your favor. Now it does. And usually also you can creep up a storm at a certain point with that Fiend damage, with Skeletons, Coil, Nova. It's time for that now. 1-0 supply block, working on some Ziggurats. Happy, smooth sailing.
Creeping without the rod is a bit difficult. But I guess here comes the DK. Rod now ready. And 1-0 for the first time, looking for a big move.
Okay, very aggressive. That's Nova. One countered by the coil. Happy perfectly moving back. He is such a big bout machine. It's incredible how well he performs. But, oh, Surround all of a sudden opened up again. Last hit to the Lich. And now we're both blasting through the mana. No spells available.
Seemed like Happy could have gotten that with the Nova. Didn't do it though. That's 2 claws. That's a big deal. We saw earlier how a pimped Lich can make a big difference. On Echo Isles, we saw 1-0 Lich out of control. There was the map. He won. And 1-0 now aware how strong he is with the Fiends. Wants to get some meaningful camps.
And meaningful is big consumables. All of them. Big fight for that. Happy has some more Novas to work with. But so does 1-0 in just a second. Happy pulling back towards the mercenary camp. That is the Scroll of the Beast for 1-0 against Happy's Mass Destroyer play. Might not be that significant, but it could trade it in at all times for Invo Potion Sealed Scrolls. Interesting. 1-0 Dark Ranger now.
Okay, that again means that late game, super late game against Mass Destroyers, she might be weaker. But maybe we'll use her for now. Also, of course, nice for creeping. Happy with a big camp. Takes out the Merc. Gets a Sobi Mask. Not even sure who this is better on. It's very nice on both heroes.
You would love to duplicate that, put it on all heroes. Make a big one for the statue as well. Can't even imagine.
Unfortunately, this isn't Diablo 2.
Ah.
This is Warcraft 3.
Ah,
can't dupe.
Sorry. Got confused. Is this the first time the game is really working how 1-0 envisioned it? Even Echo Owls was a bit odd.
Yeah, this is looking kind of standard, you know? Gripping up the map. Not too much has died at all. Happy again as an experience lead, but that is pretty normal.
Battle drums from the red spot, checking also the other red spot. And now the fight for the shop once again. Feels like Groundhog Day, but it's the bottom left-hand side. Happy with Frenzy ready, Destroyers ready, and one Fiend caught by the creeps. Needs a coil, doesn't really work. Nova on all the ghouls though. And the first Destroyer up. Second consumable should also be available. Is that the second Scroll of the Beast?
Yeah, that one certainly against Mass Destros. Not worth it. Will have to be sold. Happy's coils, by the way, pin perfect, like every time. Exactly when and where he needs them.
Unlike 120, who's missed a few of them. And as we said, exchanging the Scroll of the Beast for Invo Potions. The DK still needs levels, Lich needs levels. Dark Ranger is at a solid spot. And Happy again with a double Slaughterhouse.
Very, very close now to the Lich level 4. Lacking a bit of mana, but that can be made up for later. And we saw earlier, Happy, you know, at around 50, he faked an attack, pulled 120 out of the open, out into the open, I mean, and then went for lots of Destroyers after. Oh, Fiend getting caught, that rally. Not what you want.
Yeah, it's always a little weird on Last Refuge. Somehow sending units through the upper side seems to be smarter for the AI than through the bottom side. 120 still has his own mercenary camp. Both have their own labs, and there's also another rat spot. But Happy obviously knows this. Scouting always exceptional. This might be a huge backstab if you attack the rat spot now. 120 goes in for the pull. Happy so ready, trying to prevent the retreat. Is 120 ready yet? Without the level 2 Nova.
Happy's just waiting. I think 120 is just doing this as a fake out, trying to lure Happy to go in. A battle of patience here.
So close to level 3 and 4 Lich respectively. Both one invul, and that's about it. Black Arrow advantage for 120 as he leveled the Dark Ranger better. Time to break upkeep. The red spot's still in there. This is getting a little weird now.
Happy has 2 statues coming. When they arrive, he will morph all the Destroyers, but he might be forced to morph them before. Or is he?
120 wants his level 3 Lich. He's inches away. 0.03 levels. One ghoul might be it. He even gets the rat spot. That is incredible. Talisman also wonderful for the DK. Also a bit for the DK. Very good for the Lich. Extraordinary risky play, but Happy didn't jump on it.
Happy morphing some Destroyers. He's got 2 more statues coming from the main. This could be a strong Destroyer morph for him. Is he gonna commit?
Looks like it. 120 can't build anything anymore. He's supply blocked. Happy still has room. Here we go. On to the Fiends. No retreat. Level 2 for Happy. Black Arrow activated. Coil hits this time. This might be the fight for the championship. If Happy wins this, this is his title once again back to back. Fiends are getting decimated, but Happy also losing a lot of ghouls. They're all gone. And 120, is he finding his rhythm now? No coil at the moment for Happy, and also only level 1. Now the level ups though. That's a big power spike for Happy, and 120 is losing a couple of Fiends. At least they're out of the fight. Also the statue, very much mispositioned, and we're back to Destroyer Mirror.
120 with the supply lead, but perhaps more important, the mana is also looking better for 120. Trying now perhaps to go for hero kills.
Oh, both DKs in so much trouble. One carries an Invo Potion. Lich is saved for now. Can't get in front for the block. Happy retreats over and over. And now is the DK still safe? No, he's absolutely not. Has to go for the town portal. Saves his DK, his first hero, his tournament life. And Happy on to the next creep spot. Let the statues work.
Big item here. Does he have the time? 120 is going to come back instantly.
Happy gets a DK! Just dead! He was a little bit too greedy! He wanted the XP, he wanted the item, and all he gets is death!
Yeah, that's the punish. Perhaps 120. Maybe not to win the game right away, but to take a big lead. Huge hero kill. Happy with the gargoyle, by the way. That may have been a misclick, but that's a big loss. Happy getting punished.
And the devotion aura is on 1-0. He didn't even get the item. Of course, that DK had to be rebought immediately from the tavern. Super expensive. 1-0. Supply lead. The levels are looking good. The items are looking good. And all of a sudden, also these fights are looking really good.
Oh, catches some statues in the back. He certainly knows where Happy is. Happy's low HP. He's low mana. This is not a good fight for the Russian.
Knockout punch possible to fourth game 6. And then we're close to a full out series. DK on the menu once again. Invo potion this time. The coil, the rhythm, it's all there. Gargoyle is getting caught pretty much immediately thanks to the web. This is a statue about to fall. This is a fiend about to fall, but nothing but saves here. GG, 1-0 is alive and wins last Refuge on the way to tying up this series.
All right, we got a grand final here. Happy still on match point, but 1-0 certainly makes it closer. And this looked convincing. Happy didn't lose here because it had a bad opening and he overextended. 1-0 just is getting more and more used to this style, where Happy just goes ghouls and destroyers and looks for the big timing with the Destro Morph. 1-0 here, confident as well. He didn't back up from the fight. He took the fight. And it was a wash, kind of, until, of course, Happy lost the DK. And that you can't afford to do here.
Man, this mercenary camp on Last Refuge, how many games has it ruined over the past 3 years, I guess, since DreamHack days? A lot. And it's already been nerfed. Turtle Rock is next, Remo. Big map, lots to creep, big items. Is this the big turnaround starting now?
This also a map with the Lich Ghoul creep route can be very, very impressive. And 1-0, again, will have it tough if he wants to play the same opening build. But on AZ, it didn't stop him. He still went for the Ted Fiends. Is he going to do that again here? It seems like also perhaps a matter of principle and a matter of pride. 1-0 wants to show that he can be the best in the world, that he can beat Happy with his style.
My God, 5-3 in series on this patch, 14-14 historically. This is as close as it gets. 1-0 on paper, only the third best player when it comes to the ELO ranking, but we all know that he is one of the GOATs, especially when it comes to undead play. But can he really win 3 maps in a row versus Happy again? Does this loss on Last Refuge, which was pretty straightforward, make Happy think that he still has some adjustments to do?
Yeah, to be fair, 1-0 took a really good fight there. The position on Last Refuge, he found one of the choke points, which on Last Refuge, there are many. And with ghouls, ideally you want to have an open field where you can encircle the fiends quickly and take them out. Turtle Rock has many more open battlegrounds. There's also some chokes, but they are way harder to find. And now we're loaded in. Map number 6. Time for the next prediction. Might be the last prediction of the day, unless 1-0 can win here and bring us to a map 7, which of course is exactly what we want to see. Happy bottom right with the ghoul build. 1-0 top left. And guess what? For the first time, finally, 1-0 is playing a ghoul build himself. On this map, Turtle Rock, where there are no corpses, making the Ted Fiend build work is really hard. Because with the Ted Fiend build, you have only the DK out on the map at the beginning, plus skellies. But when there's no critters, there's no skellies. So, very understandable here to see a ghoul build instead. But 1-0 not with the Lich. No, he's going DK ghouls. And that is a bit of a rare sight. Happy was scouting earlier. He will be scouting here again. He's sending the Acolyte, and we'll see the build, and we'll see that he has to get prepared for something new. Oh, and now the graveyard for 1-0. It's an early crypt into a graveyard. That's quite unusual. So we want to have the 3 ghouls out early, but it's going to stop at 3 regardless. Interesting.
Did he think that he could fool Happy with a build early? Or is it just a special Turtle Rock adjustment?
If he stays on 3 ghouls, I mean, he still can't go heavily ghoul
正遭
creeping.
到攻击，
That's the big benefit of Happy's build and the ghoul build in general. We see 120 here using one of the ghouls to creep the green. But the Acolyte pull already making this a bit annoying. Happy gonna creep this camp faster, pick up the first item. He's gonna get the slippers here. Not quite the mantle he would have liked.
Can't win it all, just most of them. That goes for both of these players. Tension is rising. 120 still under so much pressure. Can't make a
一位
single
玩家的部队
mistake
正遭到攻击，
for 2 more maps if he wants to claim the championship here in TP League. Otherwise, it's back-to-back wins for Happy. Lich creeping, of course, quite nice with ghouls at the turtles. This works beautifully. Fiends always need a little more time, but off to the orange camp we go.
What is this? Creeping in the north. He has no scout in the south. Happy could go for the red camp right now and get an instant level 3. But of course it's a bit risky. If you get creep jacked, it's a disaster. Happy is not willing to take that risk. He's just gonna move from camp to camp and play it safe for now. Try to find some good items on the way. On this map we have lots of claws that can be found. Normally a very reliable map to stack up on. It goes for Blade Masters, Liches, and all these guys who love the claws, and Happy now has found the first.
Alright. No marketplace here, but a lot of consumables, a lot of fighting items. Calm before the storm, and 120 is not even trying to trade. Just straight up
一
creeping
位玩
war,
家的部队正遭
which
到
usually should fall to Lich and Ghouls. But okay. Getting closer and closer to each other. First brawl is imminent.
Happy spending heavy at the shop, circlet and boots. Of course, both very nice for the Lich. And the next item now. Claws or gloves, and he's going to be nicely decked out. And it is the glove. Some good attack speed here. Almost level 3.
There we go, Nova on the DK. Unwilling to commit to a possible surround as everything is just way too hurt. Respects the damage of DK, Fiend, Skeletons. Gets the last hit here though. No deny. 2.8 Lich right around the corner for the level 3, and these trolls could just give it to him.
一位玩家的部队
He's trying to
正遭
take
到
out the rest. The Lich is zoning away the fiends. The poke damage, quite meaningful. And that, yeah, will be enough. Nice creep route by Happy. And good start for him.
I agree. Getting closer and closer to the big 7k. Lich is coming for 120. Once again, he has to own the early stages of the late game. Always the initial moments in favor of Happy. And then there's a lot of catching up to do, just like in this entire series. Very symptomatic.
Oh, Happy Ziggurat is late. DK will be delayed by a bit, but it's gonna mean a faster tier 3 then. Lich now, so strong.
Here we go. Nova on the DK. Here's the pressure. Can't afford to lose too much against a full mana. This is 2 more Novas at the very least.
And this is what Lich can do with a fast level 3 with boots. He can bully the early tier 2 phase very nicely.
Did the animation already start the movement by 120? He's facing death, but he's laughing in the face of it for now. Great escape.
Happy trying to wake up the creeps, trigger some ensnares, but the fiends are fast enough to get away. DK now coming. Happy would love to claim the shop for himself, of course. With the second hero, might be able to do it. But 120 about to reach level 3 in not too far.
Okay. Playable. Not a disaster as some other maps in this series, but also not too much pressure. Here's the Nova. Ghouls are right around the corner. We are fighting, of course, for this camp, as that provides a watch award for the rest of the game and should provide shop control. Ghoul getting caught, Ghoul getting killed, but by the own Lich. No additional experience, still far away from 3.
The level 3 gives Happy the advantage right now. He certainly seems to have the stronger army, at least until there's a statue. That one is coming soon. Oh, actually the first one is out
一位玩
already.
家的部队正遭
1 to
到
0's
攻击
army also looking good. Who's gonna get this?
The Nova advantage with Happy. Fiend range attacks, maybe. They're both trying to manipulate the creeps. Come with me, come with me. I got candy. This one, lasted to 1-2-0. First little win, but the Magi to Happy plus the Watcher Ward and the item.
1 to 0 may get most of the experience, but yes, the ward indeed, and the item for Happy. Oh, 1 to 0 got a lot of experience here, to be honest.
Yep.
Oh, but it picks up the tome.
Invul Potion on Happy. Both retreat. A calm
一位
before a
玩家的
big
部队
storm.
正遭到攻击
DK still needs the levels. And he might just get it here at the turtle camp.
What's the big consumable gonna be? Scroll the beast again. Seems like 1 to 0 has been finding a lot of these. Not very lucky.
Little unfortunate, but 3 more chances on the back of the turtle. Nobody's really positioning themselves for the red spot. Happy might snipe it in a second. Tier 3 is done. Are we moving towards the tavern? We absolutely are. It's the Dark Ranger for 1 to 0. There's a lot of experience here, and the silences might still be important, even with Mass Destroyers.
Follow up Dark Ranger. Could be a strong creep jack.
Ooh.
The creep is still there, the item's still there.
1 to 0 with the statue under fire, so is the Dark Ranger. Only a few coils available here, but retreating before the big Nova hit. Ghouls in position. Once again, if Happy makes this timing work, that's his title. And it's looking good when we check the HP. Everything hurt for 1 to 0.
Yeah, very bruised early on. The coil's on cooldown. The Nova's there. First Fiend falls.
Uh-oh, statue saves that one. Okay, 4 now, but that's a precarious situation. Happy with his DK in the middle of everything. Fiends falling quickly, but the coils are again on time. On cooldown now, might be silent. Swatch the TP and get the heck out of here. Oh, Dark Ranger.
1 to 0 successfully taking out a lot of the ghouls. I think they were pretty much all killed. He's gonna lose the TP. I guess he already did. And he's gonna lose the big item though. What is that one gonna be? Ruined Bracers could be really good.
Exactly, when it's so much about hero focus. But 1 to 0 is not taking any breaks here in this grand final. 10-minute mark, second red spot up for grabs. And Happy, here it is. Game 6, 10 minutes in, first Fiend of the grand final.
Oh wow, all of a sudden. And guess what 1 to 0 finds? The Cadgus pipe. Let's go.
Oh my god. Oh my god, now we're talking. The big heroes, the big items. And Fiend Mirror, the gentleman's undead mirror.
A bit of energy again.
We have 3 very, very hurt Happy heroes. Statue needs to work. Invul Potion on both sides. Wand of Mana Stealing for 1 to 0 as well, as he cleans up most of the middle. That's camp number 2. Another one up for grabs.
一位玩
As
家的
Happy
部队
is getting the red spot. Will he even out in pipes? Or is it something else? Answer right here. And that's of course the rune that will heal everything back up. Item is Talisman. We've seen a lot of them. Bit of strength, bit of intelligence. Also not too shabby, but it's no pipe.
Four, 3-2 versus 3-3-2, but 1 to 0 is going to get that little 4 here as well. Just a moment. And we'll claim the big item from the red. What's that going to be?
Good. Everything except the DK and the skeletons is range, so that's a good boost to 1 to 0's damage. Scales well with attack upgrades too. So far, we only get defense upgrades. We have a Town Portal on 1 to 0. Does he feel like it's time already? Supply is even. Items are pretty even when it comes to Invul Potions, but we have a big Invul Potion and the Wand of Mana Stealing. That is an advantage for 1 to 0, who's also breaking upkeep now.
Happy trying to get his reinforcements into play.
6 silence. That one misses. First Fiend immediately down. And the second one. This is 1-0 strong suit. Look at the Fiends just evaporating. The coil is there. No nuke. This one saved, maybe? No, eventually it's going down. But Happy also with big damage on his destroyer. That's a full mana destroyer just gone. 1-0. 10 supply lead. Happy's Lich under fire. Takes 1 feed with him. And then portals home. But that is a lot of damage done.
1-0 definitely wins that fight, takes the lead in this game. It will take out one of the last camps on the map.
Ooh, will he though? That was a Happy last hit. The item belongs to 1-0, I think. Maybe a circlet? Not too sure. Majority of the rest of the camp goes to 1-0. No big level ups in sight.
Happy still has lots of Novas. 1-0 perhaps a bit down here in mana. Still very even.
My god, the tension. We clean the back of the turtle. There's 2 more camps right next to 1-0's base, who's going into more upgrades. 1-2 on the horizon. Happy stays at 50, banking a lot of gold. Only has 2 ghouls remaining. A little bit of a lumber issue. And now that upgrade's getting more and more important, that might be an issue. Here we go. Pump fake. This one goes to 1-0. Claws +8. But Happy backstabbing. First Fiend down immediately. Second one as well. Every mistake by 1-0 could cost him the tournament, but he turns it around onto the DK. We got Burrow in the mix now for the first time in this tour. Lich saved DK by 1-0 under fire. Turns it around though. Moves him to safety, and all of a sudden it's the Lich who needs this last second coil. Absolutely tremendous fight by both of them. Neck and neck. Lich level 4. Can eat now. Can Nova now. And 1-0 fights out of the backstab. Reinforcements trickling in slowly but steady. But Happy has to retreat, and there's not much left to do on the map. But there is a destroyer. Webbed. Killed. And has 5 supply down.
More experience going to 1-0, but neither player has an expansion. Still looks like a pretty even game. But I favor 1-0 here, especially because of the upgrades. The 1-2 upgrades were great already to have. Now he's going to have the 2-2 upgrades soon with the next one in research. And Happy doesn't have the lumber at all to keep up with these upgrades.
That's the downside of pulling a ghoul early. No shredder. The distance between graveyard and lumber gets bigger and bigger, and 1-0 is blowing forward. There's one tiny little invo potion on Happy. Sells the altar, as so often. Double invo potion and TP on 1-0. He can be brave. He can post to forward, trying to take out the shop to minimize mana potions. We have the fight. Happy's losing the Fiend immediately. DK can't be sacrificed. 2 Fiends down for Happy. Is he losing another game in his own base? That happened against Kao. This might just happen against 1-0. Or is the Necromancer getting a little too complacent, too confident for his own good? Fiend saved. Statue hurt. Good position for them though. Lich in trouble. Catches the coil once again. Fiends falling. That's the second one. DK far forward for 1-0 as well. When is he forced into that town portal? Happy fighting tooth and nails to still claim a chance on Turtle Rock.
1-0 with his advantage. Did set up a haunted gold mines, about halfway finished now. Happy's chasing for more kills though with the next Nova. Might get another one. Yep, the Fiend goes down despite the 2-2 upgrades. Happy seemingly keeping this game even, at least for the time being.
Oh, was he a little bit too brave? 1-0. Was that chop a little bit too juicy? Or was it all just buying time because there is a second base growing on the left-hand side of Turtle Rock?
Happy has crazy mana potion value, by the way. If he buys a mana potion on the DK, drops both pendants, there's like 200 mana plus from the mana potion that he uses there. That's worth considering as well. But 1-0's upgrades, they're so strong. 2-2, so good to have on the Fiends and Destroyers. And his hero is also looking formidable.
But what does Happy do without that second base? So much zoning. This should feel strange. If you're happy, like why is 120 constantly in my base? There must be something. Scouts are moving out. Nice Nova there. Scouts are moving out but can't find it. They're scouting on the right-hand side. Oh no, it's just the ward. Sorry, forgot about that. So he might have an idea, but he doesn't know for sure.
Now the Haunted is up. Ziggurat is coming. 1-0 is starting to look better and better. Happy is now sending out scout destroyers, but won't find anything in the north. 1-0 with the contain, not letting Happy leave.
And again, Happy, this is the third series he played today. The maps are getting longer. Oh, that Fiend might be caught. DK is diving ultra deep into the town portal. Damage done. Fiend and statue gone. Destroyer! Last second save, and that was so much time. Bob, but the Fiend also trailing behind. Another burrow used here. And Happy has to run to the shop for the dust and get the kill. There was a lot of losses there. And DK level 4.
Yeah. There was 2 Fiend and a statue and almost a destroyer falling for 1-0 as well, right? Good thing, I guess, that he has the expansion, which is still mining, which Happy still doesn't know about. But Happy is building a big army. 64 supply. If he strikes very soon, he might still be able to win this one, but he's waiting for the Sacrificial Pit and Shades, and has plenty of time, which 1-0 loves to have.
He's in upkeep, paying taxes. 1-0 following, building a big army now as well. Again, with only 3 acolytes at this expansion, as he had before, but he's working on that now. Of course, the passive region of the Mana Bong is working fine. Oh man, 20-minute mark. Happy already sold the altar. Probably not gonna be a counter expansion. It's too late for that. We're spending all of our gold, build the biggest army we possibly can, and then we strike. And 1-0 invites him to a fight out in the open.
1-0's army here looking much, much smaller. One Fiend goes down right away. The other one might be saved, but that one also will be dying before too long. Happy with the perfect timing. 70 supply. He's up by 10.
Why are you here? Why are you doing this? There's no TP this time. You gotta run and buy more time for this big army. The production shall never stop now. He gets a Fiend. Alright, loses a Destroyer on top of it. DK has an Invo Potion. No TP this time. Destroyers are chasing. Are these 7 seconds even enough? This is a fight now for 1-0 with the rest of his army without the Destroyers. They're letting go of that DK. Lich is in trouble. Catches a coil on the other side. Needs the coil as well. Invo Potion catches him. That's the Nova for the victory, is it not? Liches are chasing each other, but 1DK is alive. The Dark Ranger falls as well. 1-0. What a mistake. 20 food down. GG. Your TP League champion back to back is Big Demi.
He has done it again. The revenge is there. 1-0, the champion of the monthlies, but Happy takes the first place in the big series. Recently, it seemed like 1-0 had his number, but Happy says no. Happy says this is my prize money. Nobody will keep me away from the ice cream, and deservedly so, I think we can say. Cow shocked us all, shocked Happy as well, put him into the lower bracket, but a run for the ages in the lower bracket for Happy taking the first.
The resiliency of this guy. You saw all the work of the past 2 weeks plus on his face there at the end. Too tired to celebrate. Just all that pressure falling off. And he was under a lot of pressure. But he, in the end, is again the champion. When it counts most, he's there. 5 months of losing best of 7s against 1-2-0 are coming to an end. The first monthly is his, and the grand final is his. The alpha and omega of the TP League is Happy.
Whew, there we go. After a year that seemed surprisingly undominant for Happy standards, now he's showing us still that he is the GOAT of recent times. One tournament after the next, this one also under his belt. I'm not sure if he's gonna get a trophy, but he would deserve one. Many of the best players in the world played here. 1-0 and Happy always high up in the ELO standings. Lin perhaps surprisingly not too far in the top 4, but 1-0 and Happy kept their shape up. They were challenged at times, they were almost eliminated at times, but in the end, the two are the two vying for these big championships.